Welcome, Spencer.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have this conversation with you so we can share your testimonial, everything that you went through, so that hopefully we can help other women and other couples with your story.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. You're so generous, and I'm so grateful. Okay, so can you share with us what your situation was like when we met?
Yeah, sure. So prior to meeting, we were open, kind of trying, just not preventing for about like 10 months or so. But really prior to meeting you, it had been probably like 5 solid months of tracking and not successfully getting pregnant. So it had been really frustrating. And I had gone to my OBGYN who essentially like gave me a card of like an IVF clinic. And I was like, whoa, okay, there's got to be another route. And so I had seen online, I had seen you all talking about this fertility solution and a more natural path to conceiving. And so I was very interested, and that's essentially like how I started to look into it and speak with you all.
And how did you feel about the program before starting? So, what were your fears, your hesitations, but also your hopes and your goals?
I think obviously the fear was that, like, what if I do this and I still don't become pregnant? Like, I think that's always the ultimate fear. But my hope was obviously to conceive. And I had also been through a miscarriage as well. So I think it was like not only conceiving, but having a healthy pregnancy. And my goal was just like to learn more about how to do that through natural sources like movement and nutrition. So, I think it was awesome to be able to gain those resources.
And what did you learn during the program? How did it help you specifically?
I think really like the first thing I will say is relinquishing this sense of control. I think in speaking with you and your team, the biggest thing that my husband and I felt was just, okay, like we're just gonna let go and start like giving the power to this natural path. And you all were providing that through the course, and giving us the resources of like right foods to eat and then also movement, but also mindset. I think the mindset was probably the most powerful thing that I gained because in speaking with you all, it was just about having that peaceful mindset and doing things that were going to put my mind and ultimately like my body at ease, which is, I think, the best way anybody is able to conceive is when all of those things are in alignment.
Okay, what was your favorite part of the program?
Honestly, I would say just speaking with you and connecting obviously with your team as well, but just those check-ins, like the weekly check-ins we had were so helpful to me because if anything was cropping up for me throughout my pregnancy, once I became pregnant, which was, by the way, obviously, as you know, very fast. I think it was within like a month of starting with you, but you were still along the way with me. But I think for anyone, even if they don't get pregnant right away, it's still having those check-ins and the ability to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling physically, or this is how I'm feeling mentally about the journey. And then you're able to provide practical steps and resources and kind of go back to everything you're giving in the program, but then also just like kind of the mindset too, and having those open conversations with somebody who's well versed. And it's a little bit different than like a friend you're just venting to. It's like, okay, you're able to speak your feelings, but then also get the resources or the direction that you need. So that was probably, it was just comforting and probably my favorite part of the program.
Okay, so tell me, what were your results in the program?
Well, like I said, so I got pregnant like very quickly. And now my son Milo is 8 months old. So, or he'll be 8 months on the 13th. So very exciting. It's been great. So I'm really excited.
I love that. I really love that because, as I've always told you, my goal here is for you to walk out with a toolbox that's for you, with you for the rest of your life. So not only could you apply that to your first pregnancy, but to everything in life, including obviously future pregnancies, and just like showing up in the world as the best version of yourself, which is what you're doing. Spencer, what would you say to the Spencer of 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's tough. I would say that the first step, to finding success in anything, but especially in something as intimate as conceiving a child, would just be like to open your mind and let go. And I think by having that empowerment, by doing this program and able to like connect with others in the community too, which was a big part of it, like having the Facebook group that you all provided and other people who were experiencing some challenges with fertility. I would tell myself, like, connect with others, right? Find that resource. And it happened to be the fertility solution. But again, just like open your mind and don't feel like you have to go down a medical route because that's like what your doctor is saying immediately. So I think just encouraging myself to like keep an open mind. And ultimately that's what ended up happening. So I'm very thankful for that.
So, a little bit aligned with this one, what would you say to anyone who's struggling to get pregnant today?
I would say I understand it's like probably one of the most challenging things as a woman that you go through because you're like, I was made for this, right? This is what I want. You dream about your family, your kids. But I would also say, like, take a pause and like look at it from a bird's eye view and you can do it. It doesn't have to be so hard and take the onus off of yourself and like reach out to those resources that can help you on a different path. Like don't feel like the weight is on your shoulders, but definitely it's okay if you are feeling discouraged and find that community because I think ultimately community is what can provide a lot of comfort, but also a lot of encouragement along the journey.
Okay, and last but not least, what would you say to a couple who is considering to join the fertility solution as a way to maximize their chances of getting pregnant naturally?
I would say number one, it's awesome that both people are able to relinquish that sense of ego, right? That sense of like, why isn't it working with us? Because it's hard. It's really hard. So, congrats on that. But then, second, just do it because I think the power that you will both feel in kind of just letting go and following a plan is there's a lot of comfort to that. Like you think about any path to success, whether it's like your career or your family, any goal you have to have a plan to get there. So if you're looking to get pregnant, you might as well follow a plan that's homeopathic, it's natural, it's easy once you get into it and it will be very successful. So just do it and enjoy the process because these tools are going to really be with you forever. And they've definitely, certainly been with me.
Really helpful. Thank you so much. You are so inspiring. Thank
Thank you.